women do not have equality yet in the workplace. Women still earn less than men. This particular slide illustrates that for those women who take a career break, they never recover. So it financially has a disproportionate effect on their earnings. But other research has found that even if you only compare women who've not had children with men, there's still a pay gap. The gender pay gap is about 10.5% for people working full-time, and if you include part-time, it's 20%. And I actually owe thanks to the Guardian newspaper for this particular slide. We did have their permission to use it. Part-time working, the pay gap is much bigger. A lot of low-paid jobs tend to be done by women. I said I'd go through this quickly. Interestingly, the gender pay gap increases with age, as these slides illustrate. And an interesting point that I read recently is that the UK would be better off by 50 to 20 billion pounds per annum if we used all the skills of women currently out of work. So it is clear that it's not just about fairness, though that of course is terribly important. It is also about growth, about our economy, that we should be drawing on the talents of everyone, and women as well as men. There is, as Polly said, legislation in place. This government implemented the Equality Act 2010. Pay secrecy clauses are now unlawful. Positive action can be used in recruitment and promotion, and that means encouraging people from a wider background to apply. It still means choosing the best person for the job, and protection against discrimination by association. I should also add on equal pay audits. The government tabled an amendment in the Employment and Regulatory Reform Bill, bit of a mouthful, in October, which will give ministers the authority to make future regulations, giving employment tribunals the power to order equal pay audits where an employer has been found to have breached equal pay or sex discrimination laws. However, one part of the Act I want to focus on in particular has not been commenced, and that was Section 78, which would have required companies to report on gender pay information. And the reason for that is this government is committed to a voluntary approach, working with business, working with the grain of what businesses find works, to encourage them to report on what they're doing and make that reporting the norm. And that's why the government set up the Think Act Report programme. Before I talk about that in a bit more detail, a few other things underway. So we've set up a Women's Business Council, chaired by Ruby McGregor-Smith, which is going to be making recommendations to government on how to remove barriers to women in business and the workplace. We're training mentors to help women set up businesses. 6,000 women mentors have been trained so far through the Get Mentoring scheme. There's a review into access to finance for women that we'll be making recommendations shortly. Government is working with business to develop shared parental leave. And as Polly also said, implementing the recommendations of the Lord Davis report on women on boards. And quite a lot of progress there already. Women now form over 17% of FTSE 100 companies and 11% of FTSE 250 boards, which is quite an increase since Lord Davis started his report. So although there's a journey to travel, things are getting better, at least as far as representation on boards is concerned. So Think Act Report is an alternative to imposing ever more legislation on businesses, and instead turning around to businesses and saying to them, will you tell us what is working well? The best businesses know that if they draw on the talents of everyone, they will be more effective in the marketplace. And there's some research to show that women with more balanced boards, boards with more women on them, do better in the marketplace, get a better return on investment. The programme is entirely voluntary. It's a flexible programme of measures, things that businesses can do. It's what it says on the tin. It encourages businesses to think about gender equality, to take steps to support women in the workplace, and to report what they're doing, to share it. And they can report it wherever they want to, on their website, in their corporate social responsibility report, wherever. And it's not an accreditation system. All we ask is that they share their successes with us, and we publish the names of companies that signed up to Think Act Report on our website, and we publish the case studies of their success in promoting this. And the reason we're doing this is because we believe that actually the more companies actually talk about gender equality, the more companies publish data about numbers of women in their organisation and how they're supporting them, the more it will become the norm. So it's working with the grain of what the best businesses are already doing, particularly, of course, cooperative societies. So I'll skip through. So as I say, the title of the programme is exactly what it says on the tin. And although the programme was set up as an alternative to legislation, we recognise that companies are in different places and we don't prescribe what companies choose to publish. It's entirely up to the companies that signed up to our programme as to what they publish, but we do encourage them to publish as much as they feel able to, and we offer opportunities to publicise what they're doing. One of the reasons I'm here, of course, is because the cooperative group, the Manchester Cooperative Group, has signed up to Think Act Report, and here's some of the information that they publish, and we're very pleased that they have signed up, and I'm very much hoping that other cooperative organisations today will think of signing up to Think Act Report. It sends a message to your customers and your staff. It's good for business. And it's also good for your local communities. So we feel very strongly that Think Act Report fits very well with cooperative values about fairness, about your local community, about drawing on the talents of everyone, about being representative of your community. And it's flexible. It's adaptable for any business. We aim it at larger organisations because obviously there are those that are more likely to be able to publish data, but it's open to anyone to use it. And here's some of the other companies that signed up. Some major businesses in the UK are signed up to our company. And we'll shortly be publishing a progress report. And as I say, we continue to highlight examples from some of the wonderful businesses that have signed up on our website. So I very much hope that some of you today will come and talk to me or go on our website and sign up to Think Act Report on gender equality. Thank you.